ShotokuTech, Saturday Story Time. These are the stories that you might have missed while you were caught up in other stories. Welcome back. You're watching ShotokuTech Saturday Story Time, 19 September 2020 edition. NASA is willing to pay for dirt on the moon. And what's interesting about this story, they're looking for proposals from private companies that would land on the moon and collect a small amount of rocks or dirt from any location on the moon's surface, along with a photo of the collection process and the resulting sample. And then you don't need to bring it back to Earth, you just hand it to NASA in place on the moon. So the proposal is that you collect this material before 2024 and hand off the ownership. So if you're awarded this contract, you'll get 10% up front, another 10% at the launch of your vehicle, and then the final 80% of the contract once the sample is collected by NASA on the moon. Seems like an interesting proposition. Nearly 100 earthquakes swarm Yellowstone in 24 hours. This happened last Thursday, and while a lot of people are concerned about this super volcano, this large magma chamber underneath Yellowstone, the geologists are saying the Yellowstone magma chamber is mostly solid, so we don't have to worry. Make sure to check this story out. Yeah, please don't tell PewDiePie about this, but in Sweden, they're building these sail-powered cargo ships. What's interesting, though, to me, is they're for carrying cars. I hope they're electric cars, because if they're using a sailboat to bring gas cars from Sweden to the Americas, then that seems kind of counterproductive. So it's a transatlantic ship capable of carrying 7,000 vehicles. It just takes twice as long to cross the ocean as a ship powered under conventional methods. It is an interesting concept, though. Best wishes on that. This story is baffling scientists. Orcas are attacking sailing boats. This is off the coast of Spain and Portugal. Over the last 2 months, from southern to northern Spain, sailors have sent distress signals after worrying encounters. Boats are losing part of their rudders. A crew member suffered bruising from the impact of the ramming, and several boats sustained serious damage. It actually seems that this pod of orcas is actually pursuing the boats, which isn't normal behavior for killer whales. I didn't know this. Orcas are the largest member of the dolphin family. They are curious and they do follow boats and even interact with them, but not with the force that's being reported here. And it seems like they're actually working together in harassing these boats. There are several reports in this story. Make sure to check it out. Here's an interesting, if not puzzling, story. Astronomers see possible hints of life in Venus's clouds. They were looking at these clouds on Venus, and there's hints that microbes might be living in the sulfuric acid-laden clouds of Venus. So telescopes in Hawaii and Chile spotted in the thick Venusian clouds the chemical signature of phosphine. Now this phosphine is a noxious gas that on Earth is only associated with life. This isn't a smoking gun or proof of life on Venus. Much more research needs to be done. Astronomers are using these type of methods to try to detect life on planets outside our solar system. They're looking for chemical signatures that can only be made by biological processes called biosignatures. So this phosphine is 3 hydrogen atoms and a phosphorus atom. There's only 2 ways that phosphine can be formed. One was an industrial process for chemical warfare in World War I, and the other is some kind of poorly understood function of animals and microbes. Scientists consider it to be a waste product. Phosphine can be found in the ooze at the bottom of ponds, the guts of creatures like badgers, and perhaps in piles of penguin guano. These planetary scientists exhaustively went through all the possibilities and ruled them out. Volcanoes, lightning strikes, small meteorites falling into the atmosphere. Not a single process looked like it could produce phosphine in high enough quantities to explain their findings. So let's keep an eye out on Venus. In Malaysia, this monkey right up here stole a student's phone and took selfies with it. So here this young man woke up on Saturday and he found the phone's casing under his bed, but there's no sign of robbery in his house. His father called the phone and found it in mud under a palm tree. But they were surprised when they checked the phone and found a series of monkey selfies and videos recorded on the phone. Good job. Well, it's time for the sun to begin its next 11-year solar weather cycle. Scientists think it's going to be pretty quiet, much like the last one, which ran from 2008 to 2019. They expect it to peak in 2025. In the last cycle, there was a massive flare in 2012, but it missed the Earth. So it's important for us to understand the weather of the sun. These flares can affect technology on the Earth, and as we begin to explore space, we need to make sure that our astronauts will be safe on the Moon and Mars. Here's another reason to scratch Australia off my bucket list. They have stinging trees. And these scientists have found that the toxins on these stinging trees are like spider poison. They bear a strong resemblance to those of spiders and scorpions, the scientists have found. This comes from the University of Queensland research. First, you feel an intense burn. Then, after several hours of pain, it's a feeling like being slammed in a car door, and this may last for days or even weeks. The molecular structure of the venom is knot-like, allowing the toxin to tangle and repeatedly target pain receptors in the victim. So this tree is called Dendrocide excelsa. It's also known as gimpy gimpy. It has broad, oval, heart-shaped leaves covered with needle-like hairs. You see this over here. These actually work like hypodermic needles and inject toxins when they make contact with the skin. They call these neurotoxins gimpytides. So the scientists are trying to figure out how to better treat people who have been stung by the plant. Watch out for that tree. Thank you for watching ShotokuTech Saturday Story Time. Look for the link in the description down below to this Blogspot article with all the URLs to the stories we talked about today. Thank you and have a great week. Thank you for watching ShotokuTech. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share.